welcome to Basketball Talk Pro. My name is Ron Ecker. Well, I just was very delighted. Two of our coaches from our coaching course, Steve Pankowski and Ron Ashwald, sent me, both on the same day, sent me an article. Each one had an article that they thought was pertinent, and each one of those articles were terrific. And I want to share one with you today, which I think is very important to you. And next time, the article is a lesson from Kobe Bryant. I don't think you want to miss that one. Both of these are very important, but I think you'll be very surprised at the lesson from Kobe Bryant. So that'll be next time. I think Saturday is when I will publish it. I was delighted because not only the material was very good, but the fact that coaches are starting to look for things like that, and they're starting to use a lot of the things that are available to us instead of just kind of sifting through things, finding things with real merit, real substance, and utilizing them and sharing them. I think both areas are very important. Well, before we start with this one, the Ivy League method, I just want to go through the 3 questions from Chris Mullin, because I also think that session with Chris Mullin was very important for you to learn, and I think the questions themselves bear out something that you need to think about. First of all, the question was what propelled Chris Mullin to overcome his self-confessed 2 areas of athletic weakness and yet take it to an extremely high level. Dream team member, one of the 12 guys, the greatest team probably ever put together. All-star while he was playing, 16 years in the NBA, Hall of Fame player. Well, my feel on that one was desire. He spoke of it as a dream, but either word is right. Many other words you could use, but it's desire. What you really want to accomplish. Now the other answers were pretty much answers of how. Discipline, yes, you need discipline, but you can't discipline yourself to anything if you don't have desire. You need fundamentals. These are things though that are just how to do it. But you're not going to propel yourself without a tremendous amount of desire. And I would just tell you, NBA players in general, they don't make it unless they have tremendous desire. Well, the second question was easy. Grade school. That was the teacher, coach that he pointed out. Not the only coach that he would, he got a lot from. But it was the coach word kind of was the foundation that was built on. I thought that was a very important lesson he gave us. And then the last one is what I would call a Nelly question. Some of you who have heard it, I've said it in a couple of videos, but Nella, I'm speaking now of Don Nelson, the great coach, the winningest coach in the history of basketball, of the NBA. he had a way of testing players. Usually, almost always, it was a 10-question test. When I was with him, I had to correct those papers. But he always asked one question that was never been told and never talked about or never mentioned the answer would be, what the answer would be. It was completely out of context, a complete question everyone was scratching their head. Well, most of the players gave up on that one, and it took a fine. It was like $100 for every miss or something like that, as I remember. One player, Finley, always, and I'd have to wait for him, always fought through that question and usually got it right. I don't know how he did that. Personally, when I had to correct it, I would ask the first time or two, I asked Nellie, what is the answer? And he wouldn't tell me. I had to figure it out. So this question was kind of like that. Almost everybody answered Max product. What wasn't the question? What product? Now, in order to find out, you could have found out that product. You would have had to go to the website, Max International, and looked at their products. Only 4 fit. They only have 6 products. Only 4 products fit. It didn't take long, wouldn't have taken long with any work at all for you to figure it out. The products were, he used both, a product called ATP and a second product called Celgevity. And if you have any questions on those products, let me know, because there is a way you guys could use them also. Well, now I want to take you to the Ivy League method that Stan Pankowski sent me. A little background. The man who started this all was a man by the name of Carl Schwab, at that time president of Bethlehem Steel. He went on to create one of the largest steel monopolies, really, that no one has even seen since. He at one time was the richest man in the world. Well, while he was in Bethlehem Steel, though, he was not satisfied with the way the company was going, and he called in a man by the name of Ivy Lee. Ivy Lee was a production consultant, and he called him into his office, and he said, "Tell me what I have to do to make this company stronger." And Ivy Lee responded immediately, said, "Give me 15 minutes with each one of your executives." And Schwab said, "How much it's going to cost me?" And Ivy Lee said, "Nothing. I won't charge you anything. But at the end of 3 months, if you think it would, whatever it was worth to you after 3 months, just write me a check for that amount, whatever you feel." So Schwab said he could go ahead, and he then commenced to talk to each executive in the corporation, and he gave them, in that 15 minutes, he gave them 5 steps. And I'm going to put those steps, because I want you to write them down. And I will read them to you, but I want you to see them at the same time. Remember now, if you can't write them down in the length of time that I give you, or it takes me to read them, you can always come back to this. You can always stop it too. You have great control on your end. So let's take a look now at the 5 steps. Number one, at the end of each workday, write down the 6 most important things you need to accomplish tomorrow. Do not write down more than 6 tasks. Number two, prioritize those 6 items in the order of their true importance. Number three, when you arrive tomorrow, concentrate only on the first task. Work until the first task is finished before moving on to the second task. Number four, approach the rest of your list in the same fashion. At the end of the day, move any unfinished items to a new list of 6 tasks for the following day. Number five, repeat this procedure every working day. Well, those were the 5 steps, and at the end of 3 months, Charles Schwab called Ivy Lee into his office and wrote him a check for $25,000. $25,000 at that time was 1918, would be equivalent to $400,000 if you were to write for the same value today. So for those little steps, Ivy Lee walked out with a check for $25,000. Why do you think it was so effective that Charles Schwab would spend that kind of money as a reward for what Ivy Lee was able to do? I mean, he didn't actually do any work. He just talked to the executives for 15 minutes, gave them those five simple steps, and earned $25,000. Why those steps were so effective? Well, from my standpoint, number one, simple. How could you be more simple than that? Two, they made you make tough decisions. You had to, first of all, you were narrowed to 6 things. Second of all, you had to put them in order of their priority, their importance. That isn't always easy to do, to make those decisions. And by having the list when you first came to work in order, it took away a lot of the problems with getting started. A lot of people procrastinate, keep putting it off. But you had something specific to start with, number one. And number two, another aspect was that made it so effective, you were single tasking. You've heard me talk about this a lot. No multiple tasking, single tasking, one task at a time until you're finished. Terrific advice. Well, the bottom line is on this, that by using this method, every day you do the most important thing first. Always remember that. And you will find that, like Charles Schwab found, that you are developing and providing a lot of work, and a lot of work well done. Well, that's it for today. Don't miss the lesson from Kobe Bryant next time. Thanks. We'll see you next time.